We're good. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mrs. Walker, would you lead us in the flag salute? Sunshine Law Statement. All requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act have been met for this meeting of the Board of Education of the Borough of Oradell. Notice of this meeting was filed with the record, northjersey.com, and all persons requesting such notice. Mr. Darian, would you read the mission statement?
The Oradell Public School District is dedicated to the ongoing pursuit of educational excellence through comprehensive, innovative curriculum and instruction. The district is committed to providing opportunities for social, emotional, and academic discovery to foster curiosity, courage, and character. Our goal is to prepare our students to become lifelong learners who are self-directed, resilient, productive, responsible citizens.
Thank you. Roll call.
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco.
Here.
Mrs. Downey.
Here.
Mrs. Genchi.
Here.
Mrs. Moran.
Here.
Mrs. Norian.
Here.
Mr. Nutland.
Here.
Mrs. Walker.
Here.
Mr. Darian.
Here.
Mrs. Nichols.
Here. At this time, we'll open to the public for agenda items only.
Hi, Rosemary Cataldo, OEA President. This year, during Teachers Appreciation Week, we'd like to continue the tradition of celebrating members of our staff who are being recommended for tenure. This year, we are proud to recognize 4 outstanding educators: Amy Brancato, Jamie Cochia, Kayleen Daziel, and Danielle Oxnard. We invited colleagues who have worked closely with each of them to share a few words about the impact they have made on our school community. I would like to begin by celebrating Amy Brancato. I have had the privilege of working closely with Amy and seeing firsthand her heart and dedication she brings to her role as vice principal. She has a genuine commitment to ensuring that every child feels seen, supported, and successful. No matter the situation, she goes above and beyond to meet students' needs, always leading with compassion, patience, and unwavering belief in their potential. One moment that truly stands out to me was when she worked with a student who was really struggling. She took the time to understand that what motivated him and recognized his love for STEAM, his desire to build and create. Rather than simply arranging a time for him to work with me, she went a step further. She sat with us as we worked, made it clear she believed in him, and encouraged him to think about how he could carry that same passion into his classroom learning. It was such a powerful example of how she connects with students, not just by providing opportunities, but by inspiring them to see their own potential. What truly sets her apart is the way she supports and values the teachers she works with. She creates an environment where staff feel respected, heard, and encouraged. Her ability to recognize individual strengths and foster collaboration helps build a strong, positive school community where both students and teachers can thrive. Working alongside her, I came to deeply appreciate her meticulous nature and extensive knowledge. She approaches every task with care and intention, never settling for anything less than what is best for her students and staff. I always knew that when we completed a project together, it would be thoughtful, thorough, and aligned with the highest standards. Beyond her professionalism, it is her kindness, integrity, and genuine care for others that truly sets her apart. She is not only an exceptional vice principal, but also an inspiring leader and colleague. Thank you.
Hi, Kate Windrum, a general education teacher here at Oradell. Good evening. Over the past 4 years, I've had the privilege of working with Jamie Cochia. The last 2 years, we've been partners in a combination of 4th and 5th grade. Jamie brings 22 years of experience to our students, and that experience, she demonstrates a deep, commitment to creating a classroom that puts children first. Every day, I get to witness how she creates an environment for our students to feel safe, supported, and excited to learn. I get to see this through the warmth and laughter and energy in her classroom and how she truly expresses her passion for teaching. Because of the location of our classrooms, we often get the unique opportunity to reconnect with our former students. It is clear with their enthusiastic reactions that she has made a lasting impact on them, and her former students are just as excited to see her as she is to see them. Beyond the classroom, Jamie builds relationships with her students, families, and colleagues. She's a valued part of our school musicals, as she's been the choreographer for the last, I may say, amazing musicals that we've had. Day after day, Jamie shows up with professionalism, kindness, and a clear commitment to helping every child succeed. She is a committed member of OPS and represents the very best of what this school stands for. I thank you for your time.
Hi, I'm Katie Cohen. I'm a first grade teacher here. But before I taught first grade, I taught kindergarten. And that is when I became close with Kayleen Daziel. Kayleen is one of the most wonderful people I have ever had the pleasure of working with. This was my first teaching job out of college, and she really took me under her wing and taught me a lot about what I know about the OPS curriculum, the community. She's one of those people that stayed with me till 5 o'clock at night to work on math centers. And whether she was teaching third grade or kindergarten, she put her whole heart into working with those students. And I've gotten to see her interact with her class this year and last year through our buddy reading. And she really just meets the children where she is at, and she takes the time to get to know them and their strengths. She knows them inside of school, outside of school, and she's just the most wonderful person. I could go on and on about how much I love Kayleen. But I also wanted to mention Amy Brancato. Amy has been such a wonderful mentor to me in my education journey. She is always there to listen to my ideas, even if they're a little bit crazy, and start with a hear me out. Amy also has become a big part of our classroom. My students love her, and she is always there to support them, whether they need somebody other than me to talk to, they need academic help, or someone that they want to celebrate their wins with. So yeah, two wonderful educators who just really bring such light to OPS. Thank you.
Melissa and Jen couldn't be here, so I'm speaking on their behalf for Danielle Oxnard. Danielle is truly one of the most dedicated and hardworking teachers we have had the privilege of working alongside. Over the past 4 years, she has consistently brought so much of our team, not only through her professionalism and work ethic, but through her kindness, honesty, flexibility, and sense of humor. Most importantly, she is deeply loved by her students. Jen said, "I still remember speaking with Mrs. Hawley during what felt like one of the busiest and most chaotic times about an incredible candidate for our upcoming third grade opening, Danielle. After just one interview, Michelle was immediately impressed. She later told me that even though she somehow forgot Danielle's name, she found herself pulling Danielle's resume back out because she stood out that much. That moment says everything about who Danielle is. She has a way of leaving a lasting impression on everyone she meets. Watching Danielle over these past 4 years has been such a joy. The relationships she has built with her students, colleagues, and parents are genuine, meaningful, and strong. She shows up every single day with dedication, heart, and true love for teaching. Her students feel supported, valued, and cared for, not only academically, but personally as well. She consistently goes above and beyond to create meaningful connections with both students and families, helping to foster a warm and welcoming environment. Melissa said Danielle is also the definition of a team player. She is always willing to lend a hand, share ideas, collaborate with others, and support those around her. Her positive impact on our school community is undeniable, and I could not be more proud to call her both a colleague and a friend. Thank you.
Moving forward, this evening, I had asked Mr. Iapelli to print out this sample resolution. It was sent to all the Bergen County Board Presidents, probably the Superintendent and VA also. This is coming from the Governmental Relations Department at school boards. They are urging boards to pass this resolution due to the high cost, the skyrocketing cost of healthcare. And basically, it boils down to, on the second page, second to last paragraph, basically, we urge the governor to engage in meaningful engagement with all affected stakeholders to develop and implement practical long-term reforms to the state's system of delivering health care to its public employees in order to generate meaningful long-term savings. So I just wanted this to be in everyone's packet tonight. We can discuss it tonight. We can discuss it next time. We can add it to the agenda next time. It's whatever the board wants to do. We don't have to add it.
You want to discuss it now?
We can. You can if you want to. Next time, whatever you want to do.
I mean, I have a comment. I mean, this is just kind of coincidental. I was just looking at social media, and, you know, there's a couple of educators here in New Jersey who have, I don't know, podcasts. And, you know, they were saying how we're going over this cost cliff, and it's just an abyss. It's just crazy. The rate of increase are double digits every year. It's unsustainable. And, you know, we're in a free fall. I don't know how more to put it. If you, later on in our budget presentation, we were paying in healthcare benefits $1.3 million a year in 2022. We're now over $3 million. That's double in just a few years. I mean, this is not sustainable. You know, we, as a district, have been doing a very good job with our budget. You know, we have no layoffs. We have no shortfalls. But this is going to take even us down. So, you know, I don't know the specifics of this resolution and whether there's some wording in here I'm not comfortable with, but, you know, just basically what I've looked through on the surface, you know, this is a crisis that needs to be addressed, and I'm all for it.
Does everyone want to take it home and read it, and then I'll have it added to the agenda next time? If anyone does not want it added, I guess, email me, and then we can discuss it next time. Mr. Nutlin?
You know, it just goes to show you elections have consequences, and this is a result of the Affordable Care Act, which is not affordable, which is basically, you know, now passed more burden onto the school districts. And it's not affordable because it was relying on people who, you know, were healthy they decided, all right, I'm going to opt out and not pay. So here we are. You know, we're in a tough spot here. And, you know, it's unfortunate.
Mr. Del Greco?
So this sample resolution, you know, if I guess, you know, we approve it, I guess this is going to go to NJSBA. They're going to then on our behalf, like, go to the state and basically say, hey, deal with this.
Well, it's separated by district, so we are
Okay.
going to forward it to our reps. I think in the email, it's separated by district, so we're 38, so we send it to our reps and to NJSBA, I'm assuming.
Okay.
That's what we used to do in the past. We, from here, would send to our reps
Gotcha.
and
And
NJSBA.
then from there, then they gather as many as possible. Then they go to the state and saying, out of X amount of districts in the state of New Jersey, we have X amount that are basically pushing forth this resolution. Please help and do something. Even though this, to what Mr. Nutlin said, this is a wider problem, right? And same thing with Mr. Darian, right? This is everything from healthcare consolidation from the hospitals all the way through drug costs, all the way through, right, people who were healthy opting out and then having just these districts left over that are maybe breaking even, maybe Blue Cross or whomever is paying out more than we're paying in, right? But to Greg's point, like, this is a larger problem that I don't think is going to be fixed overnight. I think this resolution is a good start, but, you know, until the hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, and everybody else gets on board, this is just going to continue for a while.
Mrs. Walker?
This isn't only a school problem, this is a business problem. Most companies are also affected by it. And also, what happens is the percentage that the teachers are going to have to put into the payment of this is also, you know, the percentage went up 30%, but how much more are the teachers going to have to put into it? So it's a really serious problem, I agree. And I don't know how this resolution is going to make much of a difference.
I don't know. I mean, there's the most districts in the state are in Bergen County, so they really are pushing for Bergen County to, you know, put in. But I mean, if most districts do send something to the governor's office, I would think maybe they'll take a look at something. You would hope. Maybe not. But at least we can say we did our part.
And that continues to make New Jersey the most expensive state to live in.
Massachusetts.
It'll be the people that are down here and the people in Trenton who will sit there and they'll continue to kick the can down the road and not address it. And it's unfortunate because unfortunately, who's going to pay the price? It's going to be the school districts in the sense that they're going to be losing programs and teachers will have to be cut, unfortunately, because of the costs that are now being put upon them.
Teachers are already being cut in many districts this year. A lot.
Absolutely. I'm supporting that. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, what are these boards supposed to do? There's no money.
All right, so we can add this to the admin section next, I guess under admin, right? We'll put it there. Moving to the superintendent's report. Sorry. Oh, I'm here now. There's an HIV in your folder. You're just accepting it. That's it. Okay, superintendent.
I did want to begin by reviewing just a few changes on your agenda tonight. That HIB is one of them. Additionally, you will notice the retirement of Heidi O'Keefe effective July 1st, 2026. And Heidi O'Keefe is nearing her 40th year anniversary at Oradell Public School. 40 years of service to this community. When I started to calculate how many students she has touched over the years and impacted, it is close to 1,000. Think about that. 1,000 students have benefited from the education they received in Mrs. O'Keefe's classrooms at Oradell Public School. So while we wish her well, one of the things that I think about a lot when I think about teachers is Mrs. O'Keefe is our past, she's our present, but her legacy is also our future. I am pretty sure that we actually have at least one, if not two, teachers in this building right now who are actually taught by Mrs. O'Keefe. So as she is moving on, I'd like to think that her memory and the impact she has made at Oradell Public School will continue to live on. That's a really nice segue into recognizing that today, or this week, is Teacher Appreciation Week in all schools across the nation. And I'd like to share a little story about my niece. When my niece was in college, she came home her freshman year and she said to her mom, who is a teacher, "You know what, I'm going to change my major. I'm going to be a teacher. I love the summers and I want to be off." Now her mom, being a very smart and very dedicated educator, said, "You're going to substitute teach first before you made that decision." She lasted one day because education and teaching is hard work. Many of you know that I did not go into education. I did not study education in college because I was supposed to be a doctor or an attorney or something. I'm first generation college. That's what I was supposed to do. And I had a little chip on my shoulder because I thought, well, anyone can teach, until I was in the classroom. And I hate not being good at anything. And I had to work really, really hard at teaching. And I think so often, because all of us have sat in classrooms at one time or another, we all think we can teach. But this week isn't just about teacher appreciation. Our whole year needs to be about teacher appreciation and appreciating the hard work they do in classrooms every single day. And I often say that I am incredibly proud to serve as the superintendent of Oradell Public School for many reasons. And our teaching staff is one of them. And my segues are so good today. Even how they managed to tackle a brand new standardized assessment, which just began. And this is the type of thing that happens in classrooms all the time. The new NJSLA adaptive has not been a smooth transition. Mr. Nutland's over there shaking his head because he's lived through it. There are, computers will be shutting down. There are teachers where all of a sudden they're like, wait, is the child allowed to go on, not allowed to go on? Change is hard, but our teachers face change every single day. And I am so proud of Ms. Cummings and Mrs. Hawley and Mr. Werner and Ms. Brancato and our staff for how they have embrace the change, because they too like to be really good at things, and it's really hard to be good when something's brand new. So kudos to all of you. I have been very lucky. I've gotten to stay a little bit hidden in the basement during this one because I trust them and I trust our teachers to handle this change and to move forward with it. And the only final note for me is please notice that there are buildings and grounds and finance minutes in your folders this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Iapelli.
To our presentation of the budget. We're going to move up there. We're going to go to the lectern and go from there as opposed to sitting here.
Okay. So Mr. Iapelli and I are going to split tonight's presentation. I get to talk about all the fun stuff and what the money actually helps us accomplish at Oradell Public School, and he gets to talk about the numbers and the impact and what made it really hard to balance a budget this year. So I'd like to start off, and I always like to start off by celebrating what we accomplished with this past year's budget. So in your presentation in your packet today or on this slide, you will see some of what we accomplished in 25-26 because of how well we budgeted for this current school year. That includes providing students in grades 1 and 4 with new Chromebooks, a brand new math curriculum for grades 1 through 3, professional development to support that math curriculum. We added additional cameras, including the camera across the street that is now active and operational. We increased staffing to reduce class size. So we are talking about districts that are facing cuts. And when we were faced with the challenge of suddenly having 126 fourth graders, we were able to add a staff member because of some really smart budgeting moves. We also increased staff to better support struggling learners, and that was specifically focused on increasing our staff members who have a strong background in structured literacy. In the area of buildings and grounds, which is always the best area to highlight because everything is so visible. We renovated 3 additional staircases. We replaced 8 Oradell units. We've painted hallways. We've updated lights. We continue to work on the basketball court and making landscaping improvements. And the programs that sometimes have a fiscal impact, and sometimes they have a very minor fiscal impact. It might just be covering the cost of a little extra teacher-student contact time. We developed a 3rd grade peer leadership program that is working really well, and our 3rd graders are feeling like rock stars when they help the 2nd graders solve problems. We've revamped the WIN period to better support students this year, and we've really worked to add additional family night activities because a parent academy is one thing, but if you can do a night where a parent and a student are together, we always get a lot more out of it. So now I'm going to let Mr. Iapelli talk about the budget process. There's your next one.
And we had spoken about this the last time a little bit of how we go about the process. You know, step 1, assess fiscal needs with the school, talk to district leadership, try to understand what the teachers need, what's needed for the kids, and then we move on to, the finance committee meets. We discuss the different budget scenarios, take into account what has been given to myself and Ms. Bozius regarding the teachers' wants, what's a want, what's a need, principals' wants, principals' needs. So all those different scenarios come into play. And then we received the state aid. And this year we received it later than usual, and it came with another cut of 3%. So we were cut 3% last year, and now we're cut 3% again this year. So we worked on submitting that budget to the county superintendent. They approve it, and so now we come to this advertised final budget, but this is still a time where changes can be made. So the district enrollment, we're looking at about 796 students as of now. Probably going to be in the same range. Not much difference. I think that's what we're looking at. And this is just a quick bird's eye view over the years. how much the tax levies have changed, how much state aid has changed. As you can see, state aid goes up, tax levy goes up. State aid, I mean, goes down, tax levies are increasing because we keep getting less and less. So the board has to try to do more with less every year. And we still are returning $200,000 out of a budget to return to help offset tax increases. That's the budgeted fund balance, operating budget. But that's an offset. That's money that comes out of one year's budget to help offset the taxes of the next year's budget. And the board, through their diligence and prudence, have been putting money away to the capital reserves and using those funds without going back to the taxpayers for additional monies to support capital improvement projects. And again, we have a maintenance reserve. It's at its maximum, and the board is able to replenish it and to also use it once again the following year to meet maintenance projects. And this year, there's an emergency reserve withdrawal, and that will be used to upgrade cameras, additional cameras. So we look at this impact, and we see that, again, numbers are going down from the state, and everything else is going up astronomically. We look at utilities from 24 to 25, 25, 26, that's almost 38%, followed up by another 33.5%. We look at the employee benefits, again, from 24, 25, 25, 26, 22%. Next year, 26%. And once again, we receive under $1 million from the state of New Jersey. So there's really only one other place these funds can come from. And the health care continues to rise. As a percentage of the tax levy, it's taking up more and more of the budget. So we're now looking at over $3 million. Where in 2021, you were looking at $1.3 million. When you just take that in for a moment, and we were just talking about that, you were just talking about that resolution. How do you continue? That's the question. And what do we do to try to save money, reduce costs? One big thing is Region 5, and we use that in our special ed education programs. They help to get us transportation, if we need nursing, one-to-one aides, a health aide, related services, evaluation. So there is a place to go to within the region, which is the LEA, or the Lead Education Association, is the River Edge. So they host Region 5, and so we work with Region 5 to offset and aid us in our special education department. Bergen County Technical Schools, it's great. We get RAMI from Bergen County Tech, and we've received their financial support. I mean, not financial, the technology support. And cooperatives. We do all of our summer purchases regarding teacher materials come through Ed Data. And so they are submitting their orders now. Principals are reviewing them. Then I review the orders, and we submit it. And it's all done electronically now. It's much easier, smoother. ACES is a consortium with the state of New Jersey. It's run through New Jersey school boards. There are hundreds of districts and municipalities are also involved through another offset of the New Jersey Municipal League. So they are also included in these ACES. And that's where we get our commodity of electricity and gas. We still have to pay PSE&G because they have all the lines and the transmission, but the commodity comes from a third party, and those are bid out, and we are taking advantage of trying to reduce costs as opposed to just paying as a consumer as one entity. Ed Service Commissions, Bergen County, state contracts. We look there to see, are there some cost savings? Not always going to those, but they can help with some small maintenance projects. offset some of those costs with some consortium, like we did our painting through Bergen County bids. They had a great price, better than we could find from a local person. And they're also local, so it was a win-win. All our insurance, this is another consortium, NESBIG, Northeast School Board Insurance Group. That's over 40 districts, 41 districts, and all our insurance except healthcare is through this. Workers' comp is self-funded, and so we're an entire pool of buying property insurance as opposed to just being one entity. Our general appropriations. This year, it just so happens to be that the greatest portion of the budget is general ed. Last year, it was special ed. The year before that, it was special ed. So those numbers go back and forth. But again, employee benefits, 18.61%. That number will keep getting bigger and bigger if the state or something doesn't change. So operation and maintenance, district administration, that's myself, that's Ms. Bozius, that's everything from the district standpoint, and the schools, self-explanatory, school administration, our basic skills, improvement. So these are just, I don't want to read them to you because I think you could all see the numbers. But if anyone has any questions, we could go back and we could talk about it. But that gives our general expense. And then the capital outlay, that's self-funding through the board. That increases the grand total of the budget. But the current expense, that's the portion of the budget that's supported by tax levy. Different way of looking at it with a pie chart: general education, special education, and employee benefits. And if we looked at last year's pie chart, employee benefits was a little smaller, the year before a little smaller, but now we're going to see it grow and grow and grow if something's not done.
So when we presented this budget as a tentative budget, which is what we sent to the county, we know that that's a bit of a draft. There's a lot that can happen in a school in a month, especially as we're planning for 4 months down the line. So the budget that is part of the public hearing today actually has an increase of $71,880 from the tentative budget that was originally presented. And that is all in staffing. So we did have another student register that will need a one-to-one instructional aid. So right there, that's $22,191. So we do legally need to meet that need, so that's part of it. And the other part, when someone retires, we have an opportunity. Sometimes a program keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going. And sometimes change forces us to put a new lens on and say, is this currently meeting all of our needs? And with the retirement of Ms. Sham as our tag teacher, we started to look at that position and say, we have 5 staff members who work and provide intervention services for struggling students. However, we have 1 for the same school for gifted learners. So is there an opportunity to increase this budget, a small additional amount, but get more bang for our buck out of our gifted program? So this other part-time position actually will be to increase academic enrichment programming. And those are 2 really important terms, because gifted and talented education and academic enrichment are very different. Academic enrichment is the student who, on every pre-assessment, is getting 100. Sometimes the student who is gifted may have some other stuff going on, or they may be gifted in one area. They may not be the one getting the 100. They're the ones that are often qualifying for a gifted and talented program, and the academic enrichment child is not necessarily getting as many support services. So what increasing this position will allow is us to rethink and redefine our gifted and talented program and curriculum at Oradell Public School. What else is in this 26-27 budget? We will be increasing our part-time school counselor schedule to go to 4 full days a week. As I said, the part-time enrichment teacher additional professional development in math, tiered systems of support, and technology integration with purpose. And I really wanted that word in with purpose there, because we are, as an administrative team, talking a lot about technology, and you as a board, we have a district goal about technology, because it's not more technology, it's why technology. What is technology doing to help education or help learning? And I often use the example of a worksheet. If you're doing a worksheet on paper and you're doing a worksheet on the computer, it's still a worksheet. Why are we on the computer? Unless that computer is giving you instantaneous feedback that's helping. So it's always asking, why are we using the technology, and what's it doing to help education? I'm always, whenever I do the budget presentation, I always say that when we're able to, and we have been able to, maintain kindergarten aides, we are probably one of the only districts I can think of right now in the county that has kindergarten aides. And we've been incredibly lucky. We've been able to make our budgets work. It does help our students and our teachers provide more differentiated support for our youngest learners. Continued updated curriculum purchases, and there's technology upgrades. I'm very excited that not only are our students getting new laptops this year, but our teachers will get new laptops. And part of what I believe the district does well, and the Finance Committee has continued to support, is a regular refurbishment cycle. Districts get in trouble sometimes because they don't replace something until it breaks, or they buy everything at once. And what happens when you buy everything at once? Everything breaks around the same time. So we are on very consistent refurbishment cycles with technology at Oradell Public School. You get a laptop in first grade, that laptop stays with you. Your name is on it for first, second, and third grade. You get a new laptop in fourth grade, that laptop stays with you for fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Our teachers get new laptops every 5 years, because that's the cycle we know is going to keep everything working optimally for us. And in terms of buildings and grounds, we're going to do some additional painting of hallways and classrooms. We're going to continue finishing the updated hallway lighting. We have one hallway in the second floor to still change the lighting. That's the third grade wing, and the updating of HVAC units.
And so, yes, I also wanted to just go back to some of that technology, and that's where Bergen County and the technology expertise comes in, because they can help us identify the products to buy and make us have informed decisions, as opposed to myself and Ms. Bosey is trying to figure out what should we buy, what's the best to meet the needs, and then we have to go out of our lane into another lane that isn't our expertise. So, but they allow us to make those informed decisions, and Rami's great at going out, finding quotes regarding the Chromebooks and what we need for those Chromebooks, and putting that together. That's invaluable, I believe. We pay for it, but it's a great service, and it's a great shared service, because it allows us to access expertise that we don't have in the building. So the general fund tax levy, we're looking at $14,873,473. As you notice, there is no debt service. The board is debt-free. As of last year, we were debt-free this year, debt-free going forward. And so the school tax, I just want to make a point that the school tax, when you receive the tax bill, Oradell Public School is 26.5% of the school tax bill. So it's not when they say the school's taxes are raising our taxes, we're 26.5%. The borough's portion is larger than that. Riverdale Regional School District, larger than that. So we are one portion of the bill, but it's not the reason the taxes go up, the schools are doing it. We are a portion of that, and we are of three main components. We're the smallest of that portion. So we're looking at about a $215 increase. If we could see the assessed home value, again, there was a reassessment, and these numbers keep rising. And where does that also hurt us? In state aid. Because the state has taken into consideration now property values and incomes. So the greater those property values increase, the more money they believe Oradell residents are making. They also see that as less of a reason to supply us with additional aid. When we talk about we only get what's called formula aid. It's just a dollar amount per student. We don't get anything regarding, we do the application for state school aid. They don't apply that formula to us because they look at their formula that they created, and our incomes and our home values are too great, so it's that, turn the page. Let's move to Garfield. That's where they go with the money.
Mr. Nutland?
Mr. Iapelli, thank you for that comprehensive report. I appreciate it, and I know we do too. What was the portion of this year's budget? You mentioned it was like 21 or 22%. How does that compare to the year before and the year before that?
Which portion are we
No,
talking?
you just spoke about it 3 minutes ago.
It changes every year.
Yeah.
You'd have to look at your tax bill.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that changes every year, right. So this is based on, if you go to the borough's 2025 user-friendly municipal budget, you will see the components of a tax bill,
Okay.
what makes up the average assessed home value, and you'll see the dollar amounts, and they have the percentage, and you'll see that Oradell Public Schools is not the greatest portion of the bill and can't be poked at as, that's why our taxes are going up.
You can look at your property tax statement that comes,
Yeah.
and it's broken down there.
Yep.
Mr. Darian?
I have a budget question, but I also have another question that's not really in regards to the budget, but it's related. So, who has the oldest building in the surrounding area? What school district has the oldest building?
We do.
We do, 1928. I don't know of any building that's older than this. I'm talking about immediate River Edge, Oradell. And with that 1928 building, do we have any, you keep saying something about a zero debt. What does that mean exactly, a zero debt?
There are no outstanding obligations, i.e. bonds. We are not paying anything, so
So-
there's no interest, there's no,
So there's no large capital projects that we owe money on that we're financing?
not financing through a bond
A
referendum.
Right, or multi-budgeted, like a 20, 30-year
No.
bond? Okay. Okay, just want to highlight that, because sometimes, we go through this really quick, and we don't realize that we don't have a debt service, which means is we're not borrowing any money for capital improvements, we're just funding it internally.
Any questions? I have a question on the health benefits.
Sure.
What's the difference in the number on this screen, changes that impact the budget? 26, 27, it says our employee benefits are 3.066 million. But when you come down to this part, it's 3.619. Is something in this number that's not on the
Let me
other
just see
one?
the difference. Which one are we talking, this slide,
So that says our employee benefits are 3066.
right?
And then if you keep going,
That's 3066.
yeah, keep going,
It's 3619.
keep going. Right there. Is there something added to that number in this?
And this, the 3619, there's the, you have also, that was mostly consisting of your medical, prescription, dental coverage. There is,
3066.
right.
What's in this one then?
you have some workers' comp, you also have tuition reimbursement for teachers, that's technically a employee benefit.
Right.
So you have some of those that increase it, but
So this is not just a medical number, this is anything that the state considers an employee benefit?
an employee
Other than
benefit
health-
as
other than
defined
he-
by the state.
Yeah,
So
and
workers,
the other line is just health,
that's
dental,
just
vision,
that's your
whatever.
medical, prescription, dental.
Can we just footnote, you don't have the slides numbered, but the one with the bar graphs, can you footnote down here, just so that in future, when we review this presentation, we understand that when you look at appropriations on this slide, and when you look at the impact of
Right.
healthcare benefits on this slide, it's not the exact, that's apples to oranges, it's not exact same thing. So if you had like a footnote of what's in there. Because otherwise, someone may assume, it's very easy, you know, oh, there's a typo between the two slides.
I understand.
Can you send us a breakdown of this number? Because I would just like to see what else is in employee benefits, like you said, tuition, workers' comp, like it's OAA tuition.
Yeah, you
it's
also have,
everybody's tuition.
PERS,
Yeah,
tuition, PERS pension payment.
yeah, so can you
So,
break that down?
absolutely,
Okay,
yep.
thanks. Any other questions?
And when I say PERS, I mean all the non-certificated staff, the board is paying their pension costs. So this year, it was 121,000. Seems to be an anomaly. It went down. It's usually about 150, 160. It went down, so I didn't want to dig too deeply and ask too many questions because we had a large savings. But that's something that the board, and there was a time, you know, you turn the page back 10 years, that was always paid for by the state. And the state gradually, first they charged the boards, you paid 20%, then you paid 40, 60, and they did it over time. So now if you're a new board member, so this is just something, so if you're a new board member, that PER's pension payment, that used to be made by the state at one time on behalf of the board. Those are no longer made by the state. So they, again, they push that to the boards. So all the aides, all the custodians, anyone who's in relation to non-certificated is paid by the Board of Ed. So I think that's just good little history because not all the board members were on that long ago. And there are board members that do remember when the state did pay it. So,
Thank you, Mr. Iapelli.
you're welcome.
We appreciate all your work on the budget this year.
Thank you.
You have anything else to your report? Anything about B&G or anything? No. No.
Oh, we just. Excuse me, but the upgrade to the auditorium sound system was completed with the new speakers that the board allocated out of capital reserve. So that was added and completed today, you know, this week.
Thank you. We'll move to minutes. Review of April 22nd. Any comments or questions, please email Mr. Iapelli. We have approval of March 18th and 25th. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nutlin. Any questions? Call the question.
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco.
Abstain.
Mrs. Downey. Mrs. Genchi.
Yes.
Mrs. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Norian.
Yes.
Mr. Nutlin.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Darian.
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes. Administrative items, Mr. Darian.
Yes, tonight we have an addition. It's administrative item A1. I'd like to introduce, it's a HIB report. It's just us accepting the report, basically stating that we've received it.
I'll second it.
Second by Mrs. Norian. Any questions? Call the question.
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco.
Yes.
Mrs. Downey.
Yes.
Mrs. Genchi.
Yes.
Mrs. Moran.
Yes.
Mrs. Norian.
Yes.
Mr. Nutlin.
Yes.
Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
Mr. Darian.
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes. Buildings and grounds, Mr. Del Greco.
Thank you. We did have a meeting on April 29th, and it's great to hear about all of the wonderful things through the budget presentation that we were able to fund and do, right? But just some other projects that we were looking at and talking about, right? You know, we've been talking about the Medisys system, you know, the HVAC, right? That's complete, right? Mr. Iapelli just, you know, mentioned about the auditorium here. It's great to see there's no more cable going up the side there. That's wonderful. You know, we talked about the cameras, you know, and other security measures that we were discussing. Seating and landscaping, right, Center Street, the arborvitae on Church, some great things over there. With all the lighting that we've replaced, it's been pointed out that now we need to paint, and then because of paint, we're looking at lockers. It's kind of the trickle-down effect of the projects. So now we're looking at, getting quotes and, waiting for additional quotes for that. As mentioned during the budget presentation, basketball courts, we're looking at, again, raising those backboards to create some appropriate heights, for everybody. We're looking at playground resurfacing, right? If you look at the playground, right, it's safe, we get it inspected every year, but, there's some rusty spots, there's some areas that could be improved upon, so, we are looking at that as well. I mentioned about lighting, and then the sign out front, right? It's wood, it's showing some age, so we're waiting for some quotes as well. It's pretty exciting, actually. That's some pretty cool renderings. But all in all, right, again, as Mr. Darian pointed out, this is one of the oldest school districts, buildings, right, in Bergen County, in the area, right? And with our due diligence, right, and keeping up with things with money and just keeping on top of maintenance, right, I think, we're doing a pretty good job as a board, right, trying to keep this building upkeep as possible. With that, I also like to bring up B1, use of school facilities.
I'll second.
Second by Mrs. Genchi. Any questions? Call the question.
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco,
Yes.
Mrs. Downey,
Yes.
Mrs. Genchi,
Yes.
Mrs. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Norian,
Yes.
Mr. Nutlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker, Mr. Darian,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes. Curriculum, Mrs. Norian?
Yes, we still do need to set up that curriculum meeting. We've let everybody go ahead with theirs, and it's our turn now. But other than that, I have no report.
Finance, Mr. Darian?
Yes, before I introduce some of these items on the agenda, I just want to go through briefly my recollection of the last board meeting, subcommittee meeting we had on April 29th. So we reviewed, we're coming into exploration season, which is our summer program, and we reviewed the budget and what we charge for tuition and how many classes or courses we'll be offering, and what it looks like in terms of the community's acceptance rate. We also discussed this budget presentation and what we would highlight and how we would highlight it. We had some procedural discussions over our surplus. At the end of each year, we always have a small amount of money that's left over, and we shoot as a goal for what number we should have. I mean, obviously you can't spend everything and have a zero surplus because that's dangerous. But if you have a large surplus, that's also not good planning. So we conceptually discussed where we'd like to be in terms of our surplus, and then procedurally throughout the next several years, how we would approach the surplus throughout the year so that we know what that number is before we get to the end of the year. It's just a finance thing. It's really not whatever. It's just a procedural thing within the subcommittee. And then finally, we talked about changes to the budget. We did have a change from our initial budget. It was mostly just due to staffing changes. One was forced upon us, and the other we decided to do. And it was we had lengthy discussions. Should we support an additional part-time person? But it seems like when you're presented with an opportunity because of change, do you want to enhance something, or do you want to just kick the can down the road and not make any changes? And we decided we wanted to enhance something. So we are putting money towards that goal. And that's about all we discussed at the subcommittee level. So with that, I'd like to introduce items D1 through D4.
I'll second.
Who was that? Mrs. Genchi? Any questions for Mr. Darian?
I have a comment.
Mr. Darian?
Unfortunately, my notes are on my old agenda. Let's see if I can wing it. Yes. Mr. Iapelli, can you discuss procedurally what we're doing here with D2? This would be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth, be it resolved, where it states that we should raise an additional $75,000 or $75,735 for general funds in the school year 26-27 for a Class 3 Special Law Enforcement Officer. Can you explain why this is on the agenda tonight?
So since the board is going to decide to go out for a referendum on this in November, it needs to be stated in this budget as a possible add-on to the tax levy, because this would be a permanent increase. So once this budget is complete, we established our tax levy. In November, the voters of Oradell decide, yes, we should have a special law enforcement officer. That would then reopen the tax levy, and there would be an additional $75,735 added to that levy, and that would be a permanent increase. It wouldn't just be for next school year, it would be going forward.
So when I read that, I don't necessarily understand it that way. So should we rephrase this to say something along the lines of, be it resolved that, if we need to raise additional $175,000?
No, this is the state's
It is?
wording. Yeah, none of this is.
This is if it passes.
Yeah, this is if it passes, but this is the wording
From the state?
from the state.
That's why I don't understand it. So,
Right.
Okay. I'm just, I read this and I don't understand that it's conditional upon something else. I'm assuming when I read it that, we're just doing it. And
I
just,
can't take credit for this syntax.
and I just wanted it to be clear so that, going back over
Yeah.
time, you look at these, agendas, or as Mr. Del Greco, so what do you use again? The AI tool to summarize?
Notebook LM?
Yeah, he uses Notebook LM to just digest all these agendas and summarize them, and it tells us exactly.
I will add in the minutes that you asked for clarification,
Okay,
and I will put your clarification as part of the minutes.
great. I look forward to that, so that, because, yeah, I don't want to be nitpicky, it's just, it didn't seem straightforward. Thank you.
Any other questions? Call the question.
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco,
Yes.
Mrs. Downey,
Yes.
Mrs. Genchi,
Yes.
Mrs. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Norian,
Yes.
Mr. Nutlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Darian,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, delegate report, Mrs. Norian.
There is a meeting coming up, and the handbook has been sent out. I haven't digested it at this point in time.
When's your meeting?
Huh?
When's your meeting?
It's the 16th, the 23rd? I don't remember. It's either next weekend or the weekend after.
Well, when
It's
is
on the
it?
agenda.
Because we
Yeah.
need to go
It's
over all
on
the
the agenda.
resolutions if you're going to
It's on the
vote.
agenda. It's on the personnel agenda, so it's the 16th.
Okay, so that means you're voting for us before our next meeting.
Yeah.
So then we need to go over them.
Well, how would you like to do that?
I thought that you were going to do that, actually. So,
You're speaking about the thing that Mr. Iapelli sent, right? Those resolutions, like 4 or 5 of them for NJSBA. There was some
Right.
questions about some of them.
yeah.
Thank you.
Because
Yes.
we're going to be casting a vote as a board, so we need to agree if we want to.
No, it's wonderful. Thank you. Yeah.
I could go and print out.
I have some here. You want to make, it's up to you. We can wait. We'll wait. We'll take a break. It's up to you. Yeah, you want to put them on screen, is that easier? Whatever you want to do. Whatever is easier. You know what? We'll start with the first one while we're waiting. The first one is from the South Orangewood and Maplewood Board of Ed. And let's see. They want to allow, okay, so these are ones that were approved by these school boards. So because it's a resolution, it says it's New Jersey School Boards New Jersey School Boards Association believes school districts should be permitted to use ranked choice voting in school board elections.
Oh, this is what you, this is how
I don't love that. So New York City does it. It means that if there's not a clear, if number one doesn't get, I believe, over 50% of the vote, then they start going and adding who got the most. So you could get maybe 48% of the vote, someone could get 30, someone could get 28. They could beat number one.
handbook, right?
So these two boards want to allow ranked choice voting. You don't have to use it, but you could. So that's the first one. I'm a no, but I don't know what everyone else is.
What was did they provide a reason why they want to change how voting works?
This is just a resolution. You have to go into,
Oh.
bring it up. You have it in the email.
Did they, I don't have this, so I'm going to, oh, okay, well,
Mr. Darian, May 1st, in your email, Delegate Assembly Handbook, there's an attachment PDF.
okay. well.
And it's down by like page 90. It's way in where it starts on the resolutions.
And
Here it is.
The-
First, so let me go down to, starts way down. Let me turn my mic on since I'm not talking into the mic. Let me see. It's resolution 4, 16, is it that far up?
Six, is that one?
No. Okay, here we
Yeah, I
go.
have it.
71. So basically, they're saying if the person who gets the most votes does not get over 50, they're going to go to ranked choice.
Mrs. Nichols?
Yes.
My brief little understanding of it, and it's something that I have a little, understanding of, is, but I think one of the challenges with ranked choice voting is that it's not like a raw score, like when you're tallying up something. I think what happens with the ranked score, it's a much more challenging way to quantify who's in first and whatnot. It's definitely more complicated than, James got 130 votes,
No.
I got 125, so he wins.
No, you rank the candidates. When you vote, you rank number
Right.
1, James, number 2, Mrs. Walker, number 3, Mrs. Moran. And then if James does not get 50%, then they start going to rank how many people voted
Right.
how high for Mrs. Walker.
So
That's
we have to
exactly-
then educate, or people would have to be educated in understanding how this actually works. And I kind of feel like you lose transparency in it as well. So I know that this is going to be going, as our delegate, I am not in favor of ranked choice voting.
If you go to page 71 of the email, it shows their explanations.
So if I could summarize, if I'm voting for 3 people for Board of Ed,
You rank them.
I have to choose which one of the 3 I like the most.
No, you have to rank them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have
And
to
so,
rank 1, 2, and 3.
so, I'm going to use, Rita is my number 1, James is number 2, and Jamie, I'm sorry, you're going to be in third. I'm not going to do that. I mean, I just don't think that it's you know, I think that doesn't make any sense.
No, it's when there's multiple, so
So on the ballot, I'm just going to select
if
the three
there's seven
people I...
people, you would rank, 7 ways that you would want.
I think that makes no
You have
sense.
to rank.
That complicates things.
I'm just going to vote for the 3 people I think that should win, and that's it. And you just, I
But
mean...
that's not what ranked voting is.
No, I understand that. And that's why ranked voting doesn't seem to make sense to me, because now I'm going to have to spend all this mental energy waiting and ranking the candidates. It's, either you get my vote or you don't. I mean, I'm not going to...
Mrs. Genchi, did you have something?
It seems like it could only really work if you're voting for one position. Or it only makes sense if you're voting for one position. If we have multiple seats open and we're voting
It would
for
be a
multiple
nightmare.
people, it would be an absolute disaster.
Mrs. Walker?
I think that they're just doing that to supposedly secure the security or to complicate it is what. But
Mr. Del Greco?
I'm one of, whoever I vote for is who I want, right? If I vote for Mrs. Darian, Mrs. Nichols, and Ms. Downey, like, if I vote for them, that's my vote, right? I don't want to complicate it and rank them, and I just, and my other question is this going to take effect this November if this passes, or would it be?
Yeah, I mean, even if this passes, you still have the option not to do it, but I think this is for the very political towns.
Gotcha.
You see that? I mean, is anyone in favor of this, Mrs. Moran?
I'm not in favor of it. I think it overcomplicates things, and it's
So
unnecessary.
is anybody in favor of it? Mrs. Norian, are you? Okay, so we're no on number 1. Number 2, this has to do with, let's see. I know. This has to do with ICE. I'm not sure what a resolution is going to do since we had to follow the law anyway.
I have a question.
Mr.
So
Derrick.
bullet point 2, must be free from civil immigration enforcement activities. But if it's a federal law enforcement action, how can we interfere with it?
Right, I would say, I mean, for me, this one, I would just follow what the law is. I don't know if I want to get involved as a board. I was actually speaking to our attorney today about this, and we are going into closed session to discuss it. So we can maybe discuss that. This is a discussion we can do in closed session.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah, this seems to like try to usurp and go around Pyler versus Doe. So I'm a no.
I mean,
But then it also says in the next bullet, while honoring valid judicial authority, so it kind of makes the second bullet.
That's why I'm not
Invalid.
sure.
It just seems like a political statement to me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my vote personally would be no to a political statement, right? It's whatever the law is, whatever enforcement action is, that third bullet point, as Ms. Downey just recommended, at the end of the day, this is a meaningless resolution in my mind. Like, if there's an actual law enforcement action, they're going to come work with the police, come in here and do what they need to do anyway, and we have no say, right? It's
Correct.
I mean, I think personally, I mean, this is a subject matter, that, there's people on both sides of this issue. And, I understand, the need to take action. I'm not going to, express my personal beliefs. But what concerns me as a school board member is that this has nothing to do with school. I mean, as far as I know, it's our job is to oversee the school, make sure the school is being run right, and things that affect the school and the kids education are of concern to me. But this seems like we're leveraging that responsibility and this elected position, and we're using it for other purposes. And I'm starting to feel uncomfortable getting dragged into this, because, okay, this may have an issue that we may say, okay, maybe we should weigh in on it, but what about the next issue, and then the next issue, and where does it end? And then, I just, if you want to go out and picket on the street, go right ahead. I mean, I'll drive you there, if that's what you need help. But don't ask me to take my responsibilities as a board member and use that and hold, I don't know, kind of like my opinion is more than the average person because I'm a school board member. I don't think that's right. That's like leveraging your position in areas you shouldn't be leveraging it. I don't know if I'm stating what I want to state. I just don't think we've got to stay in our lane. You know what I mean?
I think that one of the important things that they put down below the recommendation is that NJSBA believes that boards of education have a responsibility to ensure that their school buildings are safe havens for all students regardless of their immigration status and are not to be used as venues for immigration enforcement absent judicial authority. So essentially, we're saying that we're interested in the thorough and efficient education of children, and
That's already the
where-
law.
Yeah.
With absent judicial authority.
Yeah.
Nobody can come in this building without a warrant.
Right.
No one's going to sign it in New Jersey.
Right.
So it's already done, so this is like
It's like
playing a game a little bit.
Yeah.
That is the law. We're going to
Yeah.
talk about it in closed session. Let's just go to number 3. This has to do with pilots, and it's very relative to our time now. Actually, some of us were in a meeting on Friday with, the mayor was there, and he mentioned to me and the superintendent that he's putting together a committee to discuss, what's going to be going on with the building and whatever. And he mentioned things about pilots. So this is something that basically says if, schools are not giving part of the pilot, or this is saying that school districts have the right to negotiate. I don't know how this is going to help us because we could negotiate it or not. Like the town doesn't have to go by this. So again, I'm not sure what this is saying.
Yeah, I do think that it brings light a very important topic, right, of pilot. I know, for instance, right, Hackensack, they approved all these pilots, and then the next group came in and said no, but it was too late, right? Pilots are, again, negotiated between a town and a developer, where the town could say, well, we want 5%, right? Or there's a percentages of money that goes around. They pay this money, and then percentages go, right? My concern is that the borough is going to get a portion of the pilots, right? So they can improve infrastructure, they can improve police, roads, whatever, right? But that project is going to bring in additional students to this building, and then it's going to be on our backs to figure out the delta between the pilot and our budget. So I think hopefully this resolution will bring to light that upon negotiation of a pilot, right, if the borough is going to get 10% of that pilot payment, the Board of Education hopefully will say, well, we need 5% of that pilot to put in escrow. So if we do need to put an addition on the building, we have that money going forward.
The problem with this resolution is that this is basically saying that boards should have this discussion with their whatever. It doesn't mean the towns have to. This is, again, it has no teeth.
A non-binding.
Nothing. I mean, obviously, the Oradell board will be right there. It's not even a question. But we don't need this for that. Like, our negotiations with our own town has nothing to do with this.
Lately, because of these affordable housing mandates and how they have a lot of leverage over the municipalities. And so developers insist on a pilot. And it's all part of negotiations, which we are not part of. Negotiations, whether it's done with the state and the Fair Share Housing Council, or any applicant that's interested in participating, we're not at the table. And if someone doesn't like what the municipality is doing, they're going to sue the municipality directly. We're not at the table. So I don't understand how we're going to get involved in this pilot. But what bothers me as a school board member, and it also bothers me as a resident of New Jersey, is we talk about these pilots as if they're de facto fine. And we just want to participate in all these pilot programs that are going to be happening across the state, when our answer should be, we don't want any pilots. Zero. So it's not like, oh, we're going to join in on these conversations, and we want to ensure a seat at the table, and we want to make sure that we get some of that money or whatever. It's like, no, our position should be, no, we're not going to give away taxpayer dollars to a large corporation or a multinational who's got hundreds of millions of dollars that they're investing. And they're going to come into the community and they're going to ask for 10 years of no taxes. And what they're going to do is they're going to give us, a tip, to help improve the school districts. Just the whole thing is like, no, we should be no to pilots.
I agree. I agree with you wholeheartedly. There should be no to pilots because the developers get off easy, right? They get off with a smaller share versus if they pay the taxes over the long haul. And municipalities and places get attracted to that because it's an infusion of cash immediately where they might just use it to plug something or get a pet project done. And then everybody else will be dealing with the ramifications of it down the road, right? But to your point, I think it's out of our control. I don't know how we gain control to say like no to pilot and make these developers pay their fair share in taxes like I do and you do and everybody else does.
Well, also, why are all these developers pushing for pilot? Because in the long run, they're going to be the ones that benefit from it, while the school district is the one that's going to end up having to, levy, the assessments to put on that addition. Yeah, they're going to give us a little bit, but, in the end, they know that, they end up benefiting.
I mean, let's be real. We're going to have a development in town where if we pass a pilot, people are going to be moving in. They're going to buy a piece of property for a couple of $1 million. They're going to have a lot more money than the average resident here in town. And they're going to pay less tax. What? Now, granted, they're going to have a small percentage of those units will be affordable, but the rest of them are not going to be affordable. They're going to be very expensive. And people are going to have a tax-free status for 10 years, and they're going to send their kids to school and not contribute to our budget like everyone else. Makes no sense.
And on top of what you said, them paying less, being worth much more and paying less, and on top of it, they'll be making a profit on their property, which we are not.
And then just to add icing to the crap cake, our school funding formula, the tax average assessment is going to go up in town, and so the state is going to withhold more money, right, Mr. Iapelli? So not only are we going to get, I mean, it's a never-ending spiral, into the taxpayer's wallet.
The taxpayer eventually will
Has to
pay for this also.
Yeah.
And the developers come in, they get these pilots, and then they're gone. They're not part of the community.
I have a,
Mrs. Genshi?
if we, let's say, can't stop this from happening, isn't it better to have some say and get at least a little piece of the pie as opposed to none?
Yes, but this doesn't do it. This is basically saying if we don't get part of the pilot money, we should, and the municipality should meet in whatever, which we're going to do anyway. I
Right.
mean, I'm not opposed to this one, like if towns need it, like it doesn't do anything for us, it doesn't hurt us, so if people want to pass this one, like, I'm fine with it, like, me personally.
I guess like what Mr. Del Greco was saying, asking for a certain amount of money in escrow, that can only really help us if
Well,
this is
that's-
going to happen.
This doesn't help us. This is basically saying if we don't get any pilot money, then the municipality and the school district should consider negotiating community benefits agreements. It's not basically telling us that we're going to get it. So this is just basically saying if you don't get it, then you should go talk to the town. So it's not doing anything
So
for us.
only if you don't get it, that's when this would kick in,
But
which
it's
is
not
kinda
doing anything. It's
useless to
saying you
us.
should go talk to the town. We're going to do that
It's only,
anyway.
it's only offering a
Yeah.
suggestion.
So I mean, I'm fine with it. Okay, so is anyone opposed to this one? 'Cause it
I'm
doesn't do
opposed.
anything?
I'm opposed. I'll give you an example
Okay,
where
Greg is opposed. Wait, anyone else before?
I'm opposed.
Chris? Go ahead, why are you opposed?
So as an example, the shop right into Milford, that property used to be United Water property, and then a developer bought it. He was threatening to put in 2 or 3 large apartment buildings, big square buildings that were going to look like garbage in a couple of years. And the municipality sued, and they were going back and forth forever on this issue. And it wasn't until the the Milford Board of Ed went to a mayor-council meeting, and they talked about that property, and they reached an agreement with the developer, the Board of Ed. And that forced the municipality to agree to the ShopRite along with the bank. And what the developer went and agreed with the school board was the baseball diamond, what you see to the left of the thing. And so we already have that power. So, and if we feel that as a board that, we're in the final stages of a development and we're not getting anything, all we have to do is go to a mayor-council meeting and express our opinions,
How does voting yes stop that? How does voting yes on this hurt anything?
I'm voting yes to the,
You said you're voting no.
how does it stop that?
Why are you voting no, and why would voting yes harm
The reason I'm
us?
voting no is because I'm piling on and I'm assuming that a pilot program is now the de facto standard.
So your no is just fundamentally against pilots in general. So you're making a statement, no, because I don't believe in pilots, so I don't want to vote with something that supports or talks about pilot.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Notland?
Yeah, I agree with Mr. Darian that it is kind of like the standard now, and, I don't want that to be the standard. I want to have equal, standing at the table and be able to really hash things out. I don't know if necessarily the pilot, especially with the developers in today's world, are going to give any more than they have to. So that's why I say no.
Trying to read it in the email.
Why can't they have easy ones that they're going to vote
I mean,
on?
we could just abstain from it, too. It's not doing anything for us. Let's come back to this one.
I also think I have to ask a few more questions about
It's
the
basi-
purpose.
Yeah, it's not doing anything for
Yeah.
us. This one, I'm not really sure what it means, number 4, it's from West Milford.
I agree.
This one I was not sure about, I tried to read part of it. Obviously, things are happening up by them with certain lands.
From what I understand, Ms. Nichols, this is because they are part of the Highlands Act, so they aren't able to build on certain areas up there. So their tax levy is very limited in how many properties that they have. So while the state is reducing and/or maintaining their state aid, their gripe is that other municipalities like Newark is getting a ton of money, right? And they're able to build and increase their tax levy as well, where they're very limited. So not only are they having to cut programming because they're not getting the appropriate state aid, but they can't even build on the open land to increase the levy and increase development in their town to offset. I believe that's what this is.
Right, because they're basically saying the district experiences inequitable funding pressures compared to districts with similar student populations, but other districts have greater opportunities for rateable growth. Based on the above, it's the district's position does not adequately account for reduced fiscal capacity and structural tax limitations.
I mean, the only good news about this, it kind of hopefully will open up the door of how they're distributing funds, right, from a state perspective. I mean, we are, in the last 2 years, I've noted in the presentation, on the opposite end of it, keep losing, right? So maybe they're going to use this as a mechanism to rebalance how they're distributing aid. I don't know.
Yes, but if they use this, we're going to get less because it's going to go to all the towns that have these environmental sites that they can't build on. So
True, they're
we're
not
gonna
going to take it for
lose-
inner cities.
Right,
Yeah.
and we don't have any, so they're going to redistribute from everyone else.
You think it can help us with the Blauvelt?
Does anyone have an opinion on this one?
I'm impartial.
Me too.
I don't care.
I don't care either. Okay. Glen Rock. Do you know anything about this one, Mr. Iapelli? It has to do with co-op purchasing.
No, there was one co-op in the western part of the state, the western districts used it. And they were going out for contracts that they were really trying to subvert. They believe, the state told them they can't use these contracts for construction. So they believe they were kind of subverting the bidding process and using the prevailing wages. So there were districts that were taking advantage of that, but now they've been told, you can't use those vendors, those contracts are null and void, and now you have to figure it out. So I think that's what this would come from, because that's all I could think of.
I almost think this is meaningless as well, because, you know, Mr. Iapelli goes out, uses the cooperatives, right? It's, you know, the last sentence, when purchasing such materials, districts should employ strategies that promote the efficient use of taxpayers' resources when it's practical to, which is basically what we're doing already, in my opinion.
That's the purpose of using a co-op.
Right. So I just don't know why Resolution 5 is any different.
I think they're kind of saying that we have shared services, we have other things, but for curricular materials, we really don't have like a co-op base. And I think this is more for curricular, that the state should go out and be like, if all of you want to buy, like a
Yeah,
math
so-
program, we always get killed. Like,
Right,
if we
so
could
we
go
could-
into a co-op.
yeah.
I think this is more for curricular.
So we go directly to like, you know,
Right.
whether it's, who's Amplify vendor? Desmos is the vendor?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have to deal directly with them, where other things are somebody else that in the consortium gets a price. And this would be the price if you were going to get third grade math through the consortium, versus taking the chance that you are a enormous district and Desmos may give you a better price because they're going to sell more than being a smaller district. So it would put, like, I think some regulations on stabilizing
Yeah,
some
I think this
pricing.
is specifically for instructional and curricular. However, Mr. Iapelli, in the past, I think, some of the consortium prices are higher than if you went out on your own, because the state just wants to be done. So like, some of this stuff, if we went out on our own, we would do better with.
There is that, right. It's just about ease of use. I think that's what it's more, just be, I think they think this would be more streamlined, but not necessarily the best price, but maybe the easiest way to go about procurement.
If they did this, would we have to buy through it?
I don't know. Plus, this is New Jersey School Board's going to put this in their recommending for their policy. I don't know how much any of this has, I think there's no legislation in the state. Right.
So to your point, Mr. Iapelli, this policy would not be checked as mandated, it would be checked as optional?
Well, it's like when we buy school materials, right? Like Mr. Iapelli spoke about, like, that we use certain consortiums. So when we buy all our school, like, the teachers buy the products for their classroom, they get X amount of money in ed data, okay? Ed data isn't one company. It's 20 different companies in that platform. So I think not every district uses ed data. We use ed data. So there may be multiple consortiums, or there might be other ways to kind of go about, depending on how much you are going to spend, because when we're in the consortium, we don't worry about our limits as much, right?
There's also something here that says it creates a statewide textbook bank from which districts may utilize textbooks that are no longer needed by other districts. The executive county superintendent to study ways to promote co-op purchasing of textbooks.
But if we're getting rid of textbooks, doesn't that mean the material is out of date or out of curriculum? So another district would take older material that is out of date or not compliant with curriculum and use it? And then who would store the stuff? That's weird.
I don't know.
So, outside of this, right, we're talking about educational material. What stops it from, like, do we have a consortium for technology? Like, what stops all the school districts from saying, well, we all want Google, like, let's all band together and go to Google and be like, give us a better price for Google Workstation? Or Chromebooks, or anything else?
Trying to think about what else we order through consortiums. Because isn't there,
We did do some of our cameras through the New Jersey School Boards program. They have a technology component also. So some of the cameras pricing and install was based on their consortium pricing that Datacom is in, they're
Gotcha.
in that
Eastern
consortium.
Data,
Eastern
yeah. Eastern Data,
Datacom,
yep.
excuse me, is in that consortium, they're part of that.
Okay.
So, school boards does have, but again, if you go to it sometimes, it's a clunky, difficult to use website.
Gotcha.
So even trying to find sometimes, because you think about the Dell, how many, right, you got the standard, and then there's all these different components you add to it. And Dell gives a price sheet.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
It's a Google spreadsheet, I mean, a spreadsheet that is thousands of lines. And you're trying to find the one that matches yours.
Yeah.
I mean, so they exist, but they're not always easy to use.
So in the spirit of this resolution, it's really immaterial to us, right? We can say yes or no or abstain, you know, instead of sitting here for
Yeah.
racking our brains over this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm all right with it. Like,
Yeah.
if they want to create it, I'm okay. Is anyone opposed to this one? Okay, so this one's already yes. The next one has to do with the vocational county school boards, and I think C Caucus put this forward, that they say there should be some representation from sending districts on these boards, and they should be more transparent with their tuition and their programs, because basically the vocational schools can pretty much do what they want. This is how I'm reading it, so I'm okay with this one. but
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else is reading it differently.
I ran it through Gemini, and they basically agree with you.
Okay. Is anyone opposed to this one? Okay, so that's the 6 of them. So where do we stand? So on the first one,
You said no.
we're a no on ranked choice voting. ICE, we're going to hold that for now. Third one is the pilot in lieu. I'm not opposed to this one just because it doesn't do anything either way. So how do people want to vote? How many people are a no?
I'm going to say no in solidarity with Mr.
Aye.
Darian.
On number 3, that's the
Pilot.
pilot.
Oh, yeah, I'm a no.
Who's a no?
I agree with Mr. Darian that wholeheartedly I disagree with pilot altogether. So,
So by saying no,
I mean,
is that sending the
That's not
message that you
getting
want?
rid of the pilot.
We're saying no to pilot.
But we're not saying no
But
to
that's
pilot by
not-
this
that's
vote.
not what
That's
the
the problem.
resolution is
You're
saying.
basically saying,
okay.
you're basically saying on this, that if there's a pilot in your town and you're not getting any money of it, you're saying no, that there shouldn't be no discussion between us and the town.
Okay,
That's the
then I
problem with
changed to
this.
yes, then. 'cause
Like,
we
I'm
need to
totally
have
against the
discussion.
pilots too, 100%.
Yeah,
But I don't know about, we could just abstain from it too.
I think it is a good idea.
If we're split, want to abstain?
So according to the summary, it says, approve a policy which encourages municipalities and school districts to negotiate agreements that help the schools cover the cost of new developments.
That's not a bad thing. But it has no teeth.
Yeah.
It means nothing.
Which essentially.
The
most
town,
of-
this has no say over the town
Right.
whatsoever. They don't have to listen to us. if They don't want.
Yeah, I'll be a yes then, to your point.
Did Rita hit you under the table?
Okay.
What do you say? We can abstain too, I mean, it
Oh,
doesn't matter.
I'm still a no. I don't think, you know, this whole pilot thing should not be a de facto standard.
I know, but that's not the question.
I,
That's
I,
not the question.
I understand, but what we're saying is when the pilot, when
When
we're,
the pilot that we don't agree with
yeah,
is effective,
yes.
then yes, should we go after it or should we not? That's really what it kind of is saying to us.
What it's saying is we should rely on the policy as justification to go into the municipality.
Yeah.
And we don't need a policy.
We don't even have to
Exactly.
adopt a policy.
You know, we're going to sit down with, we had a representative tonight from the mayor council here with
Yeah.
tonight. You know, we're not that kind of a town, so I don't know.
To me, it's just going to be sitting in a manual. Sorry.
What's your vote, Catherine?
I will vote what you want. I
What's
mean,
your vote?
I would vote that yes. To me, it doesn't matter. I don't like pilots at all. I would be against them. However, if a pilot was put in place, I think that we definitely should go after whatever we can get for the school district.
Which we're going to do whether we have
Yeah,
this or not.
exactly.
So where are we?
There is one other potential negative. So I'm just
Okay,
thinking
go ahead.
about the townspeople, and we represent the entire, community, the parent community, and this issue is going to be, there's going to be two sides, and they're going to be very strong against it. And if we have a policy that says, well, we're going to participate in that pilot program, and when that developer gives out 200,000, we're going to get a piece of that pie. We're going to alienate half the people in town. It's going to be like, you're just contributing to the problem. You know what I mean? I don't know if we should, I don't know.
This is saying when you don't get pilot money. This is assuming you're getting zero pilot money.
We're not saying by this policy that we agree with pilot programs at all. I know you keep wanting to put that in there,
But the fact that we're agreeing to a policy.
to policy that happens after
Yes.
the fact.
Yeah, we're acknowledging the
I
pilot.
understand that part,
Yeah.
but we're not the ones who are putting it. We're saying that if in fact that exists, we should do something about it. Are you saying that no, we should not do something about it if that actually happens?
But it's not even saying, it's,
Yeah.
why do we even need, I don't know.
It's,
It's a waste of a policy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine with me. He's convincing
Tell me what
he's
to do,
convincing me
guys.
to say no.
Okay.
all right.
Why don't we just abstain, since nobody feels strongly, except the no's? You know what I mean? Like, the yeses are kind of like, whatever, if it happens, then this isn't really doing
It's
anything.
gonna do nothing. Is everyone good
If
with
it's
that?
something we can do, whether there's policy or not,
Yeah, we're
it doesn't
gonna
really
do it
make a
anyway.
difference.
All right, we're abstaining on this.
Abstaining? Okay.
Thank you.
On West Milford, we said we didn't care, so you were okay with it, yes. This is the
land use?
the land one, we don't know either way. Of course, it's gonna hurt us, but we don't care.
Sure.
We don't care. Number 5, we're a yes for the curriculum. Number 6, we're a yes. All right,
Got it. Thank you.
okay.
So just to be clear, for number 2, what are we doing
We're
with
going
that?
into closed session.
Okay.
Personnel, Mrs. Walker.
Right. What I have to approve? No, I don't. I don't have to approve anything.
You're triggering me.
What did he say?
Anyway, I'm sorry. We had a meeting this evening prior to our general meeting, and we discussed a number of things. The non-affiliate staff, the group that works in the board office, we discussed their performances, which was very positive. We also discussed some new hires that were proposed, and I give such credit to Mr. Iapelli and Ms. Bozios and the whole Finance Committee for being able to not only keep as much constraints on the budget, but also to have another part-time teacher hired. where most districts, or many districts, are letting not only administrators, but teachers go. And with that, I'd like to propose, oh, and also you had in your packet the update on all of the staff and faculty and their salaries and time in the district. And with that, I'd like to propose, F1.
Second.
Second by Mr. Nutlin. Any questions? Call the Mrs. Norrie, do you have a question? No. Call the question?
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco,
Yes.
Mrs. Downey,
Yes.
Mrs. Genchi,
Yes.
Mrs. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Norian,
I vote yes, except for under school activities, I don't vote for myself for the reimbursement for
Yep.
delegate assembly.
Mr. Nutlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Darian,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes. Policy, Mr. Nutlin?
We had some conflicts for this week, so I'm going to put out an invitation for this coming week for a policy meeting.
Public Relations, Mrs. Moran?
There's no update.
Special Education, Mrs. Downey? No. Open to the public? Want to say anything again, Ms. Cataldo?
Thank you for delicious breakfast.
You're welcome. At this time, any old or new business?
I have old. I just wanted to say thank you to Ms. Bozius and the administrative staff for helping our second graders in Ms. Hook's class successfully throw her a surprise party. They were really thrilled to do that, so thank you.
Any other, Mrs. Walker?
This is, I guess it'd be a new update. The other day, or a week ago, Saturday, the Riverdale Perform Day, I guess it was their dramatic club or drama club or whatever, put on a wonderful performance of the chorus line. And I was happy to go, and lo and behold, who do I see there but our Miss Bozios? And I thought, isn't that great that here she is on a Saturday afternoon, coming to the senior high school to see this show. So I think we all can be proud that she extends herself not only to what goes on here, but also what happens with her student graduates, too. So thank you.
You'll be happier and prouder that I didn't start singing, which is what I threatened Dr. Albro would happen. It is my favorite musical.
Any other old or new business? Can you make a motion to go into closed session?
Yeah, I make a motion that we go into closed session.
Second.
Roll call?
On the roll, Mr. Del Greco,
Yes.
Mrs. Downey, Mrs. Genchi,
Yes.
Mrs. Moran,
Yes.
Mrs. Norian,
Yes.
Mr. Nutlin,
Yes.
Mrs. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Darian,
Yes.
Mrs. Nichols.
Yes, no action will be taken.